Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to math. Let's recap a little of what we learned so far. Okay, we learned about points, about slope, how lines have a certain amount of points to make a line. So last class we learned a lot of the vocab, right? About planes and right acute angles and all that vocabulary you're gonna need for the future videos. Make sure you keep studying them. Make sure you're familiar with them. So today we're going to use some of the vocab we learned from last class on today's concept, okay? So today's concept is called postulates, okay? Postulates are sort of like statements. A postulate is something that you said that has to be true, okay? Sort of like when we did inductive and deductive reasoning, you don't really assume, it is proven, it is something that is true, 100%. So, on today's concept is, we're going to work at postulates, if they're true, if they're false, meaning the way we're going to see if they're true or false is we're going to do what's called the sometimes, maybe, or never, okay? So, it gives us a statement or a postulate, and we have to say if it's something that happens always, sometimes, or never happens, okay? So, let's start off with the first one, okay? So, all right, so we have, make sure you write it down. If you need more time, write it down, pause the video. So, we have points E and F, okay? We have 2 points, okay? Point E, point F are contained in exactly one line. Is it a true? Not a true. Is it a sometimes thing, always, or a never? So, we have a plane, okay? Let's break it down, make it a lot easier. We have this plane. On this plane, we have a line that has point E and point F, okay? So it contains exactly one line. So can we have another line that has point E and F? We can't, right? It can only happen once. So the answer is always, okay? So point E and F are contained in exactly only one line. They're both of them together in one line. It is true. So it always happens. So your answer is always, okay? Now let's go on to the second one. It says, two lines intersect in two distant points. So we have two lines, right? They're running, they intersect, and then can they re-intersect again? No, they can't, right? Because intersecting lines only intersect once. If you remember from the vocab, intersecting lines intersect in one point. So this is a never, okay? So let's put it for the first one. We have always. For the second one, we have never, because it can never intersect more than once, okay? So never. If it intersects more than one, then it's no longer a line. It's either a hyperbola, parabola, ellipse, it's something else, entirely different. So it's no longer a line, okay? So if it's a line and it's gonna intersect, it can only intersect once, remember on the vocab, okay? So your answer is never. Let's do one more that I don't really have up here, something simple. For example, if I were to say a plane is always labeled, or it's labeled then. Is it always labeled? Always, sometimes, or never? Always, right? It's always labeled. It always labels the plane for you. So, on today's concept, all you have to tell me, go back on those vocabs, make sure you get familiar with them, make sure you refer to them with today's assignment. So, you have to tell me for each one if it's said in always, sometimes, or never, okay? So let's get started on today's assignment. All right, guys. So here's your assignment. Remember, there's a few problems on the board. You're gonna write down. Right, I'm gonna show you to them. Remember, all you have to do is tell me if it's an always, sometimes, or never. Okay. Hint, hint. There's 3 problems. I use one of each. Okay, makes it a lot easier for you guys. So let's do the first one. The first one is a line contains exactly 1 point. Is it a sometimes, always, or never? Okay. So make sure you write your answer. Your second problem or your second assignment for today is 2 points determine a line. Is it a sometimes, always, or never? So 2 points determine a line. And then the final one is a right angle equals exactly 90 degrees. A right angle equals exactly 90 degrees. Is it a sometimes, always, or never? Like I said, remember, I have one of each. Make sure you submit your answers to my email address, and I'll be waiting for your answers.